Welcome to your sleep story. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Whatever this day was, however long it felt, however much it held, it is behind you now. Completely behind you. You made it through. And that is everything. So let's begin. Before I take you anywhere tonight, I want to count you down from 10 to 1. And as I count, I want you to allow yourself to sink just a little deeper into wherever you are right now. Feel the weight of your body. Feel what is beneath you, holding you. And with each number, just let go a little more. 10. Allow your eyes to close. Gently, completely. There is nothing you need to see right now. 9. Feel your shoulders and let them drop as far as they want to go. 8. A slow breath in through the nose. 7. And all the way out. 6. Your hands. Feel them opening. Whatever you've been holding today, you can put it down now. 5. Your jaw is soft. Your face is soft. 4. Your legs are heavy, warm. 3. You're drifting, not asleep yet, but moving that way. 2. The day is behind you, completely and entirely behind you. 1. And now, tonight's sleep story, the relaxation. Before we go anywhere, I want to stay here with you for a moment. Just here, just now, because this moment, this exact moment right now, where you are lying in the quiet, deserves a little attention, a little kindness. Take a breath in for me, from the very bottom of the belly. Good, and let it go. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that everything you were carrying today, every worry, every unfinished thought, every heavy thing is just leaving with that breath, just drifting away. You don't have to solve anything tonight. You don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to be anything other than exactly what you are right now. A person who deserves rest. A person who deserves sleep. Because you do. You really do. Whatever happened today, whatever was hard, whatever felt heavy, you made it through. You are here. And that is enough. That is more than enough. You are safe. And you are here. Bring your awareness gently to your feet now. Just notice them and allow them to soften. The toes uncurling, the arches releasing. All the small held tension of the day simply letting go. Let that softness travel upward, through the calves, through the knees, the thighs. All of it warm, all of it heavy, all of it resting now. Your lower back, your hips. Allow yourself to feel the surface beneath you taking your weight completely, fully. You don't have to hold yourself up anymore. The bed has you. The earth has you. The belly soft. The chest soft. The heart beating steadily as it always has, as it always will. Your shoulders dropping, your arms heavy and warm, your hands open and still, the neck long and loose, and your face, let the jaw go. Let the forehead smooth. Let the eyes be completely still behind their lids. There you are, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, completely soft, completely warm, completely at rest. You've done done beautifully. Now, let me take you somewhere warm and quiet and full of stories, somewhere the rain is on the window and the books are on every wall and the lamp in the corner is amber and the cat is asleep on the chair by the door. Come with me. The street. Imagine a street, an autumn street. The rain has been falling since mid-afternoon and shows no sign of stopping. The pavements are dark and wet, each lamp post reflected in a long, wobbling line in the puddles below. The leaves on the pavement, the fallen ones, the ones that came down in the afternoon's rain, dark and stuck to the stone, each one its own shape. The street is quiet, nearly empty, a person hurrying past with an umbrella. The sound of their shoes on the wet pavement, quick and purposeful, and then gone. Shops on either side, all dark, closed at this hour. All of them closed, except one, at the end of the street, a light. Not the hard fluorescent light of a supermarket or a pharmacy kept open for convenience. Something warmer than that. Something amber and low, and entirely its own. A bookshop window, full of books, of course, stacked and arranged and leaning against each other in the casual, accumulated way of a bookshop that has been filling its window for many years. A handwritten sign among them, white card, black ink, the writing confident and slightly uneven. Open late, come in from the rain. You do. Inside, the bell above the door, a small brass bell on a spring, the kind that rings when the door opens. A bright, brief, completely cheerful sound that has been ringing in this shop for as long as the shop has been here. It rings, and then the warmth, the smell, books, the smell of old books and new books together, the vanilla and dust of the old, the sharp ink and paper smell of the new, the two together making something that is entirely and specifically the smell of a bookshop. Not a library, a bookshop. The difference is there if you know to look for it. A library smells of more time, more patience, more accumulated quiet. A bookshop smells of possibility, of things waiting to be chosen. The room, low ceiling, shelves from floor to ceiling on every wall, not neat shelves, not alphabetized and regularized, but full shelves, overflowing shelves, books standing upright, and books lying on top of them, and books wedged sideways in any gap that presents itself. The shelves bowing slightly under the weight of years of accumulation. A cat on the chair by the door. A large, orange, completely self-possessed cat, asleep in the way that cats sleep when they have decided to sleep. Completely, without reservation, the eyes fully closed, the body fully relaxed, the tail curled around the paws. It does not look up when the bell rings. It has heard the bell many times. Oliver, his name is Oliver. He is behind the counter, 61 years old. Tall, slightly stooped in the way of tall people who have spent their lives in low-ceilinged rooms full of books. His glasses slightly smudged. They are always slightly smudged. his jumper the color of moss, slightly worn at the elbows. The kind of person who has not thought about what he is wearing in 30 years and is entirely right not to. He has been running this bookshop for 28 years. He did not intend to. He was a reader, that is where it started. A serious, lifelong, completely devoted reader. History, mostly, though he reads everything. He had a career that was not this. And then the previous owner of this shop, an elderly woman named Dorothy, who had run it for 40 years before him. Dorothy came into the shop one day and said she was retiring and would he like to buy it. He said he would have to think about it. He thought about it for 2 days. He said yes. That was 28 years ago. He has never regretted it. Not once. Dorothy comes in sometimes. Still, she is 91. She comes in on Tuesdays and sits in the chair by the door. The cat moves, accommodating her with the good grace of a cat that has made this arrangement before. And she reads for an hour and then goes home. She always buys something. Oliver always wraps it in brown paper. The shelves. Walk with me through the shelves. Follow the narrow aisle between them. Narrow enough that 2 people passing must turn sideways. The books close on both sides. The ceiling low. The whole space intimate in the way of rooms that were not built for many people at once. The fiction along the left wall. The novels arranged by the author's name in a general way, though the general way has exceptions accumulated over 28 years. Exceptions that Oliver knows, and that a knowledgeable customer would also know, but that a stranger could not navigate without asking. Ask Oliver, he always knows. The history at the back of the shop, Oliver's own section, the section he tends most carefully. History is his love. Not any particular period, all of it. The ancient world and the medieval, and the early modern and the recent. The books of history arranged chronologically rather than by author. The arrangement his own and not entirely orthodox. He would defend it if pressed. The poetry, a small section near the window. Poetry is always a small section in a bookshop. Poetry being the least selling and most loved genre. The poets arranged alphabetically. The spines thin, the books small, and somehow more present on the shelf than their size suggests. The children's section. In the back corner, its shelves lower than the others. The books there more colorful. The whole corner somehow brighter and more welcoming than the rest of the shop. A low chair in the corner. A rug on the floor. Dorothy's idea. The children's section. Oliver kept it. Of course he kept it. The rain on the window. The shop window. From inside, from this angle. The rain on it visible as a constant movement. The drops hitting the glass and running. The lamp post outside doing its wavering reflection on the wet pavement. The sound of it on the old glass of the window. A continuous, soft, slightly irregular sound. Not drumming. The rain is not heavy enough for drumming. Simply present. The rain acknowledging the glass, and the glass acknowledging the rain, the books in the window, on the inside of the glass, the display. Oliver rearranges it every week or two, less frequently than he should, more frequently than a bookshop that didn't care. The books in the window now are the books he has been reading or thinking about or received a delivery of and wants people to see. No theme, no commercial logic, simply the books he wants in the window this week. A novel he finished 2 days ago and is still thinking about. A history of the enclosure movement. A children's book with a cover so beautiful, he ordered 20 copies without reading the reviews. A book of photographs of old railway stations. His window, his choices, the rain on the outside, the amber light of the shop on the inside, the books between, the smell, let me stay here, in the smell of the bookshop, because it deserves it. The smell of books is a documented thing. Researchers have identified the compounds that produce it, the outgassing of the paper, and the binding glue and the ink as they age. The same compounds that give old books their smell, the benzaldehyde and the vanillin and the furfural, the compounds we identified in Elias' library. These are here too, but a bookshop smells different from a library. A library smells of age, predominantly. A bookshop smells of age and newness together. The new books, their smell sharp and slightly chemical, the ink fresh, the paper not yet oxidized. A smell that fades within months of publication. The book becoming quickly less sharp and more mellow. The older stock, the books Oliver has had for years, the ones that didn't sell immediately and sat on the shelves and aged there, their smell deepening, mellowing, becoming the old book smell, both smells in the same room, the new and the old, the recent and the ancient, all of it together, and underneath all of it, the wooden shelves, old and slightly dusty, the dust of books, which is not ordinary dust, but the particular dust of paper fibers and binding glue, and the accumulated years of a room full of books. You breathe it, and something settles, something in you that has been slightly held, settles and releases. The armchair at the back of the shop, past the history section and the poetry, and before the children's corner, an armchair, old, very old. Its upholstery, the dark red of something that was once a brighter red and has aged to this depth, this richness. The cushion shaped by years of people sitting in it, not hollowed, not worn through, simply shaped. Accepting. It has been here since Dorothy's time. Oliver never considered moving it. Where would it go? It belongs here. He sits in it sometimes when the shop is quiet and the thing he is reading requires sitting. Most days he reads behind the counter, a stool, a lamp, whatever he is in the middle of. But for the books that require being fully in, the books that pull you out of the present and into themselves, for those he comes to the chair. You sit in it now, the armchair at the back of the bookshop, the shelves on 3 sides, the rain on the window, front of the shop, just audible from here. The cat asleep on its chair by the door. Oliver behind the counter. The amber lamp on the side table, already lit. You pull your feet up. The chair receives you. The book. You find a book. Not by searching, by arriving. This is how the right book finds you in a good bookshop. Not by searching the shelves systematically. Not by knowing what you want before you enter. By allowing. By walking slowly. By letting your hand find the spines. By the particular quality of attention that a good bookshop produces in you. Not the sharp, focused attention of someone looking for something specific, but the open, receptive, slightly dreamy attention of someone who is willing to be surprised. Your hand finds a spine, pulls it, a novel, you don't know it. The author's name familiar, but not fully placed. The cover quiet, not the loud, designed cover of a book that wants to be noticed. The quieter cover of a book that trusts itself. You open it, the first page, the first paragraph, and you know within a paragraph whether a book is for you, not whether it is a good book. That is different. Whether it is for you now, tonight, in this chair, in this bookshop, in the rain. This one is. You settle into the chair. You begin to read. Oliver's evening. Oliver is behind the counter. He is reading too. Of course he is. The bookshop in the evening, late. The rain keeping casual browsers away. Only the people who genuinely wanted to come out in this weather is quiet enough for reading. This is one of the things he did not fully anticipate when he bought the shop. That the evenings would give him this. The shop around him, the books on the shelves, the rain on the window, and a book in his hand. He is reading a history. He is always reading a history. Currently, a history of the medieval wool trade in England. Not, perhaps, an obvious choice for a wet autumn evening. But Oliver does not choose books for their occasions. He chooses them because they are the next book. He reads slowly. He has always read slowly. Not because the reading is difficult, because he finds that slow reading is different reading. That words received slowly are words received differently. That a sentence read twice is a different sentence from a sentence read once. He underlines, not in pencil in the books he owns. He underlines in pen. A habit he has had since university, one that horrified his fellow students and his tutors, and that he has never abandoned because he finds it makes the books more his. The marks his past reading leaves for his future reading. He reads. The rain is on the window. The cat is asleep. You are in the armchair. The shop is quiet. The cat's name is Montaigne. Oliver named him after the essayist. Who else? He has been the bookshop cat for 9 years. Oliver found him as a kitten behind the shop, in the bin area, small and orange, and completely unimpressed by his circumstances. Oliver brought him in. He stayed. He is particular about his chair. The chair by the door is his chair. He will tolerate Dorothy in She is one of the few people he tolerates in it, possibly because she has been coming to the shop since before he was born, and he senses this without knowing it. He will tolerate children. He has a patient relationship with children that Oliver finds surprising and completely characteristic. But adults who do not know the shop, who come in and sit in his chair without understanding, these he regards with a specific quality of displeasure, not aggression, simply displeasure, the kind that cats perform so well. He is asleep now, his displeasure not required at this hour, his tail over his nose, his breathing the slow breathing of deep cat sleep. Montaigne, at rest, in his shop, the hot chocolate. Oliver disappears behind the counter. Sounds from the back room, the small back room where the kettle lives, and the stock is kept, and the desk where Oliver does the accounts sits in permanent chaos. He comes back with 2 mugs. Hot chocolate. He sets one on the small table beside the armchair without disturbing your reading. A gesture of complete unself-consciousness. He is not interrupting. He is simply placing something warm near you, the way a thoughtful person does in a bookshop that keeps a kettle. You look up. Thank you. He nods. He goes back to the counter. The hot chocolate. Dark, real cocoa, not the packet kind. Oliver makes it with actual cocoa powder and milk heated slowly and sugar and something else, something slightly spiced, a small amount of cinnamon perhaps, or something he doesn't mention. You hold the mug, the warmth of it. The rain is on the window. The book is in your lap. The hot chocolate is in your hands. The cat is asleep. Oliver is reading. There is nothing else. Nothing else is needed. What this shop is, Oliver would say if you asked him, at the right moment, in the quiet of a late evening like this one, he would say the shop is not for selling books. He would pause. Then he would say, it is, of course, for selling books. I need to sell books to keep the shop. But that is not what it is for. What it is for, the way he uses the word, is this: a room where books and people can find each other. He has seen it happen hundreds of times. The person who comes in not knowing what they want and leaves with the exact thing they needed. The child who picks up a book from the lowest shelf and sits down right there on the floor and begins to read and does not stop. The grieving person who finds, on his shelves, the book that says what could not be said to them in any other way. Books finding people, people finding books, the shop, the place where the finding happens. That is what it is for. He did not know this when he bought it from Dorothy. He knows it now, 28 years of knowing it. He would not trade it for anything. The second-hand shelf, near the back of the shop, the second-hand shelf, a single shelf of mixed books, the ones that have come in through the door with their previous owner's hands still somehow in them. The pencil annotations in the margins, the name written on the flyleaf in ink, someone's name, someone's year, someone's address perhaps, Oliver buys them when people bring them in. Not indiscriminately, he is particular. He will not take a book he cannot sell, but for the ones he takes, he gives a fair price. More, sometimes, than the economics strictly require, because he respects what it means to bring a book in, to let it go. The books on the second-hand shelf have been read. This is visible in them, in the slight fanning of the pages, in the crease of the spine, in the very faint smear on a page where someone's finger turned it many times, in the feel of them, the worn smoothness of a much-handled cover. They have been someone's book, and now they are waiting to be someone else's. The continuity of it, the book that began somewhere and is resting here on its way to wherever it is going next. Oliver finds this beautiful. So do you. Growing still, the rain is still on the window. The book is in your lap. You stopped reading some time ago, not because the story ended, but because the evening deepened and the reading slowed, and you are now simply here in the armchair in the bookshop with the book in your lap and the hot chocolate finished and the rain on the glass and Montaigne asleep and Oliver behind his counter, his own book open, the two of you in your separate reading worlds that are also the same world. This world, this room, this rainy evening, if thoughts are arriving, and they probably are, because that is what minds do. They are not staying long. They come, you notice them. They go, like the rain drops on the window, each one its own, and then past. You don't need to hold any of them. Just the chair, just the books, just the rain, just the warmth of a room that has been full of stories for longer than you have been alive. Peace lives in here, in the shelves and the smell and the amber lamp. And Oliver's 28 years of patient, faithful, loving service to the finding of books and people. Tonight it is yours. Good night. You are doing so beautifully. The day is done. You came in from the rain tonight. The bell rang. You found the armchair. You read for a while. Oliver brought hot chocolate without being asked. Montaigne slept on his chair by the door. The rain was on the window the whole time. The bookshop received you, as bookshops always receive people who come in from the rain, with warmth and shelves and the smell of old paper and the particular feeling of being in a room that has been given entirely over to stories. Carry it with you on the hard days, the empty days, the days when the world feels thin and too loud. Remember this street. Remember the sign in the window. Open late. Come in from the rain. Remember the bell. Remember the chair. Remember Montaigne on his chair and Oliver at his counter. And the hot chocolate you didn't ask for. Remember that somewhere right now, in a bookshop on a rainy street, the bell is not ringing, but the books are there. The shelves are full. The lamp is amber. The rain is on the window, waiting for whoever needs them next. You know the way now, but tonight you are already here. The armchair is warm. The rain is on the window. The books are all around you. Sleep now, deeply, completely. You deserve every warm, rain-soft, book-scented, amber-lit, story-held moment of this rest. Every single one. Good night. Sleep well. The BOOKSHOP through the night. After closing, Oliver locks the door at 9. He does not hurry. He turns the sign, open to closed, in the unhurried way of someone for whom closing is simply the next thing, and not a thing to rush toward or away from. He tidies, not extensively. The bookshop is not a place that benefits from extensive tidying. It has its own order, the order of accumulation, the order of a room that has been filling for decades and has found its arrangement. Oliver restores only what was genuinely disturbed. A book left face down on a shelf. He closes it properly. A cup left on the windowsill by the last customer. He takes it to the back room. He checks the cat's water bowl, fills it slightly. Montaigne watches all of this from his chair with an expression of tolerant supervision. Oliver turns off the overhead lights. The amber lamp in the corner stays on. It always stays on. Oliver tried turning it off once, years ago. The shop felt wrong. He turned it back on. It has been on since. He says goodnight to Montaigne. Montaigne does not respond. Oliver locks the back door. He goes home. The bookshop is dark, except for the amber lamp. What the books hold. The books on the shelves. What do they hold? Everything that anyone has ever thought worth writing down, and then thought worth publishing, and then thought worth buying and keeping, which is to say, a great deal. The lives that are in these books, not the characters, though those too. The lives of the people who wrote them. The years it took to write them. The mornings at the desk and the evenings when it would not come, and the days when it came all at once, and the rewriting and the doubt and the final thing, the book here on this shelf, and the lives of the readers. The person who read this copy before Oliver bought it. Their name in the flyleaf. Their life suggested by their address. Their reading life suggested by the faint marks of their attention in the margins. All of those lives in these shelves. Present, not actively, not speaking, not performing. Simply present, the way the past is always present in things that have been handled and cared for. The books holding their worlds, waiting. Montaigne at night. Montaigne does not sleep all night. He sleeps in the evening, the long evening sleep in his chair, the deep cat sleep of an animal that has learned the bookshop's rhythms and rests when the bookshop rests. Later in the deep night, he moves. He walks the shelves, not browsing, cats do not browse, but moving through his domain in the way of territorial animals who make their rounds. The narrow aisles, the back room, the window, the counter where Oliver sits in the day. He sits on the counter for a while, looking out at the rain-wet street, the lamp post, the empty pavement, the occasional car passing on the wet road, its lights sweeping briefly across the shop front. Montaigne watches watches it all with the attention of a creature for whom the night is not something to sleep through, but something to be in. Then he returns to his chair. He curls. He sleeps again. The bookshop his. The night his. As it always is. The books that did not sell today. On the shelves. The books that no one bought today. Most of the books. Oliver is not troubled by this. He has learned not to be troubled by it. A book that does not sell today might sell tomorrow, or next week, or next year, or it might sit on the shelf for 5 years, and then the exact person who needs it will walk in and find it. He has seen this happen. He has seen a book sit for 3 years, and then go home with someone who needed it so badly they stood at the counter and cried a little quietly at the till. A book's time is not predictable. You cannot know when you put a book on the shelf when its moment is. You simply put it on the shelf and wait with the same patience that all the people in these sleep stories have had. Miriam with her pots, Madeline with her candles, Alina with her orchid, Elias with his books. The patience of someone who trusts the process, who knows that the thing made well will find its moment in its own time, not before, not after, when it is needed. Dorothy comes on Tuesdays. She came this Tuesday. She sat in Montaigne's chair, Montaigne on the counter, watching her with his usual tolerant displeasure. And she read for an hour. She bought a poetry collection. She always buys poetry now. She read novels for 60 years. And then one day, she told Oliver she found she only wanted poetry. She couldn't explain it. Something changed. The long prose of novels, which she had loved all her life, suddenly felt like too much. And the short, compressed, completely distilled language of poems felt like exactly enough. Oliver wrapped it in brown paper, the way he always wraps her books. She thanked him. She went home with her poetry, 91 years old, still buying books, still reading, still finding in books whatever it is that books have always given her, which is what books have always given everyone who loves them, which is something that is hard to name, something like company, something like the sense of not being alone in whatever you are experiencing, something like a voice that says, I have been there too. Oliver watches her go down the rainy street with her brown paper parcel, and he is glad. The morning, Oliver arrives at 9. He unlocks the back door. He greets Montaigne, who is on the counter, having moved there sometime in the night, his expression suggesting he has been there since Oliver left. Oliver makes coffee. He turns on the overhead lights. He checks the shelves. He notes a gap where something sold yesterday or the day before. He is not always certain, and thinks about what to put there. Not immediately. He lets the gap sit for a day or two sometimes. The gap on a shelf is not a problem. It is a space where the next right book will go. He unlocks the front door. He turns the sign. Closed to open. The bell will ring soon. The first person of the day, coming in from the morning, not from the rain today, the rain having stopped sometime before dawn, coming in from the pale, wet, slightly gleaming morning street, to find something, or to find something finding them. Oliver behind the counter, his coffee, his book, the shop waiting, as it always waits, patient, full. The amber lamp is on. Montaigne is on his chair. The books are on their shelves. The rain is on the window. The sign says open late. Oliver has gone home. The shop is his and not his. The books are everyone's and no one's. The armchair is warm. The second-hand shelf is waiting. Dorothy's Tuesday is coming. The bell is ready to ring. And you are sleeping. Deeply, completely, peacefully, in the bookshop, in the amber light, in the rain-soft dark, among the books that are waiting for whoever needs them next. This is exactly where you should be. This is exactly what you deserve. Every warm, rain-soft, book-scented, amber-lit, story-held moment. Every single one. You are safe. You are held. You are at